All right, let's get into three things I have for you. I want to ask about, any move up targets that you think that the Grizzlies could kind of go after. There's people that you would see that, hey, these are, good matchups for the Grizzlies as in general. But then maybe anybody that you could see falling, because the Grizzlies are notoriously going after guys that might end up falling. So, you can go get those guys who maybe others didn't see and they saw something in them. Somebody they fall just to have that good potential. And the last thing I'm going to ask you is just kind of at pick 25, anybody that you see that fits the Grizzlies into a mold, because we've talked to different people, and there's always, a couple of things that people look for, whether it's length, is it shooting, is it defense, stills, whatever metrics you're using. But I want to ask you, because obviously you're the expert here. So let's get into some move up targets. So the Grizzlies, obviously, they have a lot of people under contract.
Yep.
Is there any way that they could package some players and some picks and move up? Yes. So is there anybody that you see that, hey, it would be beneficial for them to move up and go get these certain guys?
Well, the Grizzlies are hard to predict. If they want a guy, they're going to go get him. And you may not even get a lot of smoke or rumors behind it. Like, I don't remember rumors about Memphis targeting David Roddy or Jake LaRavia last year.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to predict. On one hand, I would assume that they're looking for help at the wings.
Yeah.
But then I figure, you drafted LaRavia, you got Roddy, Zaire Smith, who played the year before, who's coming off an injury-plagued year. So they have young wings there. And then, Kenny Lofton, you got to figure that he's not necessarily a wing. It's easy to kind of write him off, but you have to expect that he's going to at least get an opportunity in the preseason. I don't know if do they go point guard, like a backup point guard? I mean, we don't know what the Ja Morant situation is going to be like. So with all that being said, Memphis is tough to predict because they have so much talent on the roster, and there's really not a lot of room where you can say a guy can come in as the 25th pick, or even if they trade up, where you can say, all right, I can slot this guy into their top 6 or 7-man rotation. But maybe a guy like Kobe Bufkin could be someone.
Okay.
I don't know if he's going to be available at that range, but if he's someone that they like, history says that Memphis will go get him. He's like your combo guard. I thought he was one of the best finishers in college basketball. He shot 71% at the rim, and college basketball doesn't have a lot of spacing. So he would give Memphis, in my opinion, if this was someone they could target, if they would target another guy that can knock down open shots, but also put pressure on the rim. Not necessarily like Ja, but who does? But it's always good to have another guy that can get to the rim and make the basic read and collapse the defense and create some open looks for teammates.
Do you think he'd be worth trading up for and going into it? Obviously, I know you were sharing how much you like him, but is he worth the guy that, hey, I'm going to go ahead and trade? Because obviously we don't know what they would have to give up to go get him, but it's obviously going to be a good amount of future draft picks or some prospects that they already have. Is he a guy that's worth it? Like, just in general, just knowing what this Grizzlies team already has on the roster.
Yeah, it just depends on what you have to give up. I saw like a mock trade where they gave up some valuable assets for OG and Anunoby and Toronto. And so on one hand, I think if they are going to give up assets, it might be for a veteran that can help them win now as opposed to another rookie. I don't think Bufkin will be available, but you never know. But I think if it's a deal that they like, then I think they also may need to consolidate some of their young wings anyway.
Right.
So they may be able to move up. And there's a need for wings in the NBA. Teams want young wings, and I think the Grizzlies have some that some teams may covet and may want to move back for.
Yeah, I agree. We're here with Rafael Barlow of NBA. What is it? NBADraftboard.com, right?
NBA Big Board.
Big Board. God bless.
I have NBA Big Board and NBA Draft Junkie, so it's easy to get those two confused.
Okay, well, I'll blame it on that, even though I didn't even see the Draft Junkie part. So NBA Big Board, we're gonna go with that. I apologize. I actually did sign up today, so I could see all of it. So one, I know it's easy to do, and it's $8 a month, guys. Okay, listen, I went to Firehouse Subs the other day. I spent $18 on a meal for me. Like, I'm not even a fat kid, but I really wanted the large. I like the meatball sub. It was $18 for a meal. Okay. So I enjoyed that for an hour. Well, you can enjoy your website for many more hours. So just do that. It's $8 a month. You can sign up for the year. I think it breaks down to like $4, a little over $4 a month. So it's well worth it.
Rafael, I'll ask one quick question about the opportunity that's there with these wings. Speaking of your big board, you look at anybody's big board right now, I would say that between that 10 and 30 range, that 70, 80% of the players that are there, not only are they interchangeable, but they're wings between 6'4", 6'8". You know, we talk about what's there at 25, Jet Howard, Dariq Whitehead, Bryce Sensabaugh. You can name these names. When we're talking about potential movement, I know that we talk about what's potentially going to be there at the top of the draft, but with there being so many interchangeable wings in that 10 to 30 spot, does it make it less likely that we'll see movement on the board, you know, after the lottery into the 25, into the 20s? Because it seems like every team that's going to be picking in that area, they're going to have 3 to 5 names that they probably could be comfortable picking. Do you think that that makes it to where we'll see less trade activity because more teams are going to be satisfied with more possible options being there?
I think we're going to see a lot of movement simply because the Jazz have 3 picks and the Pacers have 3 picks. So I can't imagine both of those teams bringing in 3 rookies into camp. And Indiana has 4 picks in the top 32. So I think that, you know, there's going to be some movement, whether it's the Pacers moving up and somebody trading back because there's so many wings that they feel like, well, we can get the same guy at 26 that we wanted at 16 or whatever like that. So I do think it's going to be a lot of movement. I wouldn't be surprised if a team like Houston, I mean, do they need another young guy at pick 20? You know, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them move. Either one trade for a veteran, but completely move out of the draft because they just don't need another kid on that roster. So I think it's going to be a lot of movement.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we can't really predict is who are going to take people who are going to move out of draft picks for the future. So there's a lot of up in the